everybody.
And welcome to Atheist Sunday School.
Yes, where we talk about the Bible.
Yeah.
And that's the show.
It's really something.
It's education at its highest caliber possible.
Yeah.
It's edu-functional.
I hate you. Alright, so today we're going over chapters 40, 41, and 42 of Genesis. We are almost done with Genesis.
After this episode, we'll only have like 4 more chapters. Well, not really. We'll only have, there are 50 chapters in Genesis, so that'll be like 2 or 3 episodes after this. And then we'll be done with it.
Yeah, we could probably make it 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Next time we'll just go through the rest. What do you say?
No.
That's a lot.
You sure you don't want to just go through all the rest?
You want to be streaming for 4 hours?
Sure, whatever.
I think he does. I think he does want to stream for 4 hours.
It seems like that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do.
Man, I wish I ate first.
Yeah.
We'd have to take a break probably if we're going to do...
The big stream like that. I mean, I wouldn't mind streaming for, like, forever.
As long as Chris is on coffee duty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should bring the coffee machine down. I don't know why I haven't brought the coffee machine
There
down.
have
I
been
also
coffee
have
machines down here.
multiple coffee machines. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I just never think these things out.
No, you do not.
And it came to pass. No.
Chapter 40 of Genesis. I have the King James Version of the Bible right here.
I have the English Standard Version.
And Chris has...
As the Jewish Publication Society of America's Holy Scriptures is according to some guys who are Jewish.
Yeah.
I'm not going through all that
According
again.
to some Jewish guys.
Yeah, because this name is just nuts.
And we have the Oxford Companion to the Bible.
Yeah.
In case we really have no idea what's going on.
I
Which
think-
happens.
I think we only got real use out of it once.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think
It was
the
actually useful.
the quick internet searches I've done have been more productive in the long run because I've just gone, and what the heck does this mean? Oh,
Yes.
It's some hay!
This
Okay.
is more professional, though, because a book.
A book, yes.
Yeah.
Very good.
So, I hope everyone is having a great Sunday so far. And before we jump into this, we have Streamlabs set up.
Yes, that's right. So if you decide, person who's watching, that you'd like to subscribe now as opposed to any other time, or donate in the super chat, we've got custom animations and sounds we built a long time ago and I just forgot to reincorporate. So they're back.
Yeah.
So hopefully you'll enjoy them. They'll pop up right above Ruben's head.
And if you donate money toward this, then there are animations for that, which
We've got maybe 30 different animations total. 30. Include our sound. Their type of animation. They're random, so, here we go. Spin the wheel. See what cool animations and sounds you got.
you got to try little figure laughing sound.
Yeah, that's what you wanted.
Alright, so chapter 40. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord the king. And Pharaoh was wroth against 2 of his officers, against the chief of the butlers, and against the chief of the bakers. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was found. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad.
Oh, they were sad.
Behold!
Single teardrop. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpreter of it.
Wow, that's the sad part. No,
one can
nobody
inter-
can interpret
Nobody
it.
can even figure it
I'm
out.
so depressed.
They really need some Sigmund Freud up in here. And Joseph said unto them, do not interpretations belong to God. Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes, and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup unto Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto thy place. And thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup unto his hand, after the former manner when thou wast his butler. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews. And here also,
He was sold.
yes, he was sold.
He was sold. It wasn't stolen. He was just sold.
Well,
by his
this one
brothers.
says
He's a
stolen
liar.
away. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm saying that
He's
he was
a liar.
sold. Yes, I'm saying he's a liar.
I mean, how do you get sold into slavery? Not getting taken out of your house? Not stolen away? Not being turned into property? I mean,
Well,
They
you
were brothers.
could theoretically enter into an agreement by which you exchange your freedom for a whole
we have
bunch of...
major audio issues again.
Do we?
Apparently. Yeah, it says there's a hum drowning everything out.
Check.
Yeah, well, that means we gotta do something.
That ain't coming from the audio board, so whatever it is, it's either on the software side or on your side.
Well, let me check some stuff real quick. Yeah, nobody's making any noise, and apparently we're still getting a big audio thing again. Lawrence, I thought we fixed this.
Yeah, I thought
Well,
you guys fixed this too.
We did fix it. That's really weird.
Well, I guess we're gonna have to go off the air. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll be. Wait, hold on.
Yeah. It wasn't about till 6:30.
It worked itself out. Okay, well, if it worked itself out,
Well, that's weird
That is weird.
and frustrating.
Whatever.
So maybe we have to reread all this stuff. Does that sound correct to you,
yes.
Mr. Captain Griffin, sir?
So, thus far,
We can like summarize what has happened.
yeah, thus far, the butler and baker who worked for the Pharaoh of Egypt have been sent to jail, and they had dreams which they went to Joseph in order to get interpreted. And Joseph told the butler who told him about the dream that his dream meant that in 3 days Pharaoh is going to release him from imprisonment, and that he'll be able to serve the Pharaoh. And he requested that once he gets out of imprisonment, that he puts in a good word for him.
Effectively.
Yeah.
At the Pharaoh's office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Then, okay, so we're at Genesis 40:15 right now. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of his house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into this dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. And in the uppermost basket there was all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh. And the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree. And the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass on the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of his chief butler and the chief baker among his servants, and restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup unto Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. So,
Joseph interpreted these dreams
properly.
What?
He interpreted them properly.
Yes.
Yes.
Now what I'm wondering is, what other ways could these dreams have been interpreted?
Well, what other ways can we interpret these dreams?
The way when we were first reading, who was it?
The butler?
Yes, the butler's dream.
Yeah.
I was thinking, so is he saying that, like, because he was drinking out of the Pharaoh's cup, the way I saw it was, he becomes the new Pharaoh.
Oh no, the cup was in his hand, and he pressed the grapes into him and gave them to the Pharaoh.
Oh, he wasn't drinking out of it? Okay.
It doesn't say that.
Okay.
No, he pressed the grapes into the Pharaoh's cup.
Yeah, okay, I see that, okay.
Yeah. Which wouldn't make wine.
They just gave him grape juice.
Yeah, he just gave him grape juice.
Delicious.
Like poorly made,
hand squeezed.
Hobo wine.
Hobo wine, yeah.
Yeah,
With,
it fermented in the toilet.
with, what's it called? With pulp.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the grape seeds and everything, too.
Very pulpy grapes.
Skinny.
Unless they were seedless, but they were not at this time ever.
Well,
No.
I don't think.
These are the seeds, or these are the things God smited so that they don't reproduce.
What?
They got God's gift taken away, so these are seedless grapes.
Okay then.
So it goes into this vine that's here, and then it has these budding things and flowers and blossoms and all that.
They shoot forth.
Yeah, they shoot forth, which basically just means that they grew really quickly. And it would make more sense if in the story the Pharaoh had a set amount of time for him to be in jail, and then the quick growth of the flowers and branches and all that would signify that the time between being imprisoned and getting out of prison would be shortened.
Yeah.
But here the dream just seems to be like, yo, I'm gonna serve. Whoopee.
Whoop-de-doo.
So what do you think the 3 baskets with the white bread on his head means? And the birds did eat them. I mean, he interpreted it as a death sentence.
Yeah.
But can we interpret it as a death sentence? Let's look at these again and see.
They're fucking terrifying birds that destroy
Yeah,
everything.
it's
It
easily
just says
interpreted
birds.
as a death
And the
sentence.
birds did eat them.
So he has these white baskets on his head, the white baskets being some symbol of purity because the color white is used as a symbol of purity. And then
Or it
those...
could be used as a symbol of, like, like alms or giving or...
Right. And then that is invaded, and a number of birds eat what is contained within it. So, I mean, it's definitely a bad sign, right?
It's an omen.
It's an omen.
Yeah.
But as for the specific, like, you're going to get hanged and then birds are going to eat your body, I mean, I'm not sure how he got that out of that.
I'm pretty sure Joseph just got lucky.
It was the style at the time.
Yeah.
Let's see, what do we got going on over here?
One person likes to say that you do a very good job on forged fiction.
Oh,
Very good job.
Thank you.
And
Good
then
job.
another person says that Joseph was married to an Egyptian goddess as Asenath.
I so cannot see from here.
Asenath.
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 I'm guessing in like a different Jewish tradition.
Well,
Or
if that
there's
happens
this one.
in the Bible, we'll run in.
Yes, we'll run into it.
I'm sure Asenath comes up 100 times. Maybe.
Yet, did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him?
Yeah. So even though his premonitions came true, the butler was like, "Sweet, I got my job back," and
about
totally forgot.
it. Yeah.
Well, he did drink a lot.
Yeah. Well,
He did clarify that.
And that's all for chapter 40. Woo!
Yeah,
Your
the
turn, Lauren.
now we're-
Easiest one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's about time I got
Oh,
the
God.
easy one.
Yeah,
Sorry, buddy.
That's totally
Damn
fine.
it, Chris.
Stupid fingers
Chris,
are sticky.
come on, man.
Tearing pages.
This is so thin.
on.
It's
You
too
are-
easy. I'm sorry.
You
I'm
can
happy I have it so far.
competently read, Chris, I'm sure.
This guy.
But,
This fucking guy.
yeah.
If you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like. And remember, super chats and subscriptions, you get
Neat animation.
a temporary reward.
Yes.
Yes.
That will stick with you forever, mentally.
It's like an EA game. You pay a whole bunch of money and then you get to see some shiny things for a couple seconds and then you get bored with the game.
And it's not like EA because we don't have loot crates.
Oh, look who's here.
Oh, Durst What's up, buddy?
Durst.
How's it going? Why don't you go ahead and recommend us to everybody? You're the popular guy.
Yeah.
So popular. People respect Durst so much, especially in the social justice community.
Oh my god, so much, especially
Wow.
in Milwaukee.
Yes.
Especially.
You know, that's not
They
relevant to
fucking
us,
love
though,
him.
as we are just generic atheists.
Just
We
generic.
are not from anywhere in particular.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Right, 41.
Good luck.
After 2 whole years, Pharaoh dreamed that he was standing by the Nile, and behold, there came up out of the Nile 7 cows, attractive and plump. Ooh. Chris, this seems like it's for you.
Mine is written totally differently.
And they fed in the reed grass, and behold, 7 other cows, ugly and thin, came up out of the Nile.
Well, seems like your type. You don't want those beautiful fat people. You want those ugly thin
I
people.
want those ugly thin ones.
They're your favorite.
Ooh, yeah.
And stood by the other cows on the bank of the Nile. And the ugly, thin cows ate up the 7 attractive, plump cows. Wow. And Pharaoh awoke, and he fell asleep and dreamed a second time. Like, there's no narrative. Like, he just woke up and then he
We
fell
went back to
asleep.
bed. He just went back to bed. He's like, that's a dumb dream.
He didn't even get, like, a drink of water or anything.
So the first dream that Pharaoh has here is obviously just a usurper's sign, right?
A usurper sign?
Yeah, like when you usurp a kingdom, right? You
I've
take
never
the
heard
weak.
that word before.
You've never heard
Usurp?
usurp?
No.
No, it's
Usurp the throne? No?
like a coup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously here it's the weak overcoming the strong, despite appearances.
Oh, so let me. Is this where like Joseph is gonna come in and be all like, "Hey, someone's gonna take you over"?
Probably.
Maybe.
Okay, let's find
Well, he's
out.
going to ask somebody to interpret the dreams.
Right.
I mean, or go back to bed, I guess.
Yeah.
Go right back to bed. Again, 2 dreams that must be interpreted. All right. And he fell asleep, and he dreamed a second dream. And behold, 7 ears of grain, plump and good, were growing on one stalk. And behold, after them sprouted 7 ears, thin and blighted by the east wind. And then the ears, and the thin ears swallowed up the 7 plump full ears. What?
Okay.
How?
They overgrew them.
It says swallowed up.
Yeah, mine does too.
Does that mean overgrew?
Mine just
think
says
so.
devoured.
Yeah.
That
Well, plants grow over each other. That's kind
it
of
must have just grown over it, I guess.
something like that.
Alright. And Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. As we knew, it said he fell asleep and dreamed a second time.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, let's have the same basic dream twice in a row. Woohoo!
So, in the morning, his spirit was troubled. He wasn't troubled, just his spirit was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was none who could interpret them to Pharaoh. Wow! We couldn't have guessed that would happen.
Well, I don't know what that means,
We
dude.
can't-
I'm sorry. Maybe ask someone who knows dream stuff. I'm just,
Oh my god,
I
it's
just work for
almost
you.
as
Like-
if they write parallels. It's almost as if this is fiction.
If my immediate reaction is actually what Joseph says to him, then I'm gonna call BS because, I mean, if I could do that in 10 seconds,
But you're
nobody else, nobody in all of Egypt.
They're really dumb.
All right. Here's then the chief cupbearer, and I know yours says butler, but mine says cupbearer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, "I remember my offenses today. when Pharaoh was angry with his servants and put me and the chief baker in custody in the house of the captain of the guard. We dreamed on the same night, he and I, each having a dream with its own interpretation. A young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. When we told him, he interpreted our dreams to us, giving an interpretation to each man according to his dream. And he interpreted to us, so it came about. Oh, and as he interpreted to us, so it came about. I was restored to my office, and the baker was hanged. You know what's really interesting? Is that just before, the butler was like, we forgot who he was.
Well, he's trying to remember now.
Now he's trying. No,
Well, the Pharaoh came up to him and stirred his memory effectively. You know, sometimes when you're like, oh yeah, I guess I know about something that might help you, there's this one dude, you know?
I guess.
Yeah, he blew it off, but I don't think they should have said he just flat up forgot, because look, he remembered like a couple lines.
Well, remembering implies that you had previously forgotten.
Or that you weren't thinking about it.
Or yeah, that you weren't
You may not have
actively
even
thinking about
forgotten it. I mean, in this interpretation, we should see it as he blew it off and he recalled it later.
That would probably make the most sense out of something that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph. So
They just got him.
they knew who it was right away.
Yeah,
And it's the only Hebrew that they've got in their prison, probably.
I guess.
I mean, it's not like we live in a huge globalist society at this point where travel between nations is extremely common.
Yeah, and it's not like, you know, they've ever had a different Hebrew guy who could interpret dreams.
Actually, at this point in time, like the time it was being written, it was pretty common. People were migrating all over the place.
Yeah, we were making a joke.
Well, I mean, as far as like the Hebrews, though, if we assume that this is supposed to be an accurate history of the migrations of the Hebrew people, represented through these kind of figureheads, then they've been to Egypt once, and then they left. I assume not many of them stayed behind. If they did, they didn't mention it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's continue. And they quickly brought him out of the pit, and when he had shaved himself and changed his clothes, he came in before Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I have had a dream, and there is no one who can interpret it. I have heard it said of you, that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it. Joseph answered Pharaoh, it is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer. So he was saying this to Pharaoh, and he was addressing him in
Yeah.
what tense is that? Instead of saying, like if I'm talking to you, and instead of saying you, I say Reuben.
First.
Well, here it says it is not in me.
Right, it says it's not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer. But he's talking to Pharaoh.
Yeah, I think that's a linguistic difficulty because, like in Japanese, there is no you when you say.
I just refer to people.
Yeah, you just refer to people by their name. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Gotcha. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, behold, in my dream I was standing on the banks of the Nile. 7 cows, plump and attractive, came up out of the Nile and fed in the reed grass. 7 other cows came up after them, poor and very ugly and thin, such as I had never seen in all the land of Egypt. And the thin, ugly cows ate up the first 7 plump cows, but when they had eaten them, no one would have known that they had eaten them, for they were still as ugly as at the beginning. That part wasn't mentioned.
No.
Then I awoke. I also saw in my dreams 7 ears growing on one stalk, full and good. 7 ears withered, thin, and blighted by the east wind sprouted after them. And the thin ears swallowed up the 7 good ears, and I told it to the magicians, but there was no one who could explain it to me.
Did they say they brought it up to the magicians before, or did they
Yeah,
just say
yeah,
it to everyone?
They said it was to the magicians and to all the wise men of Egypt.
Yes. These magicians, they can turn snakes
into rods and rods into snakes, and they can do all sorts of stuff that Moses could, according to like what we know about Egyptian magicians. So none of them could interpret a single dream. They were like,
No, that
I
wasn't
have
their,
no answer for you.
that wasn't their forte.
That wasn't their forte.
Where's Hermes Trismegistus right now? I mean,
Right.
he was from around Egypt, right? He could interpret his dream.
I feel like there might have been more idiots in Egypt at this time than wise men, and the magicians were people who were very good at impressing the idiots.
I mean,
Maybe,
Yeah.
according to this book.
probably. That's if that all happened, yeah, that would have been how it went down.
Well, I mean, I assume that it functions like almost every other society in the history of the planet has functioned, where only a select few are actually educated from very rich
Right,
families.
yeah, like the scribes and stuff would know
Yeah.
how to
Yeah.
read, let alone read dreams.
And right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, "The dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years." Okay, why not 7 days? But all right. then.
Or a month.
Or months.
Could
yeah,
be a
why,
month.
Why not?
Why not a
Okay.
month?
These are really arbitrary lengths of
They,
time.
they really are. And the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dreams are 1. Wow, really? They're similar? I never noticed that. The 7 lean and ugly cows that came up after them are 7 years. Oh my God.
Oh, famine.
And the 7 empty ears, blighted by the east wind, are also 7 years of famine. It is as I told Pharaoh. God has shown to Pharaoh what he is about to do. This is interesting. The way this is written, it seems like either a scribe writing this, because the thing is, these books were written by multiple authors, by like at least 4 authors.
Well, I mean, with Genesis, I'm assuming that for the most part, each chapter was written by someone else.
Oh no.
I have no reason to assume that whoever wrote chapter 42 of Genesis was the same person who wrote chapter 31, right?
It may have been. I don't know the specifics, but I know that the current modern scholarship, I think it's called like the documentary hypothesis. The first 5 books were written by at least 4 people.
Yeah.
Because of different writing styles, and we can tell from historical criticism, like what the world these people lived in.
Yeah, but we know specifically that Judaism came out of an oral tradition.
Yes.
Before any of this was written down. And there are a lot of repeated stories. So I don't think it would be unfair to assume that it's like a game of telephone, where, I mean...
Well, sure, but that doesn't mean that the people that actually wrote it down...
Yeah, but the people who wrote it down were basing it off of that oral tradition, which
Right.
has its origins in, like, tons and tons of everyone who ever told the story.
Well, here's the thing. There are other cultures with even earlier oral cultures that date back to now, and people can still recant them with accuracy, and they're still considered the same tale. The game of telephone has a degradation period, sure, but with discipline and multiple repeats before, like the person has a lifetime to remember these stories before they pass them on, and then they spend the rest of their lifetime passing it on to somebody else. And that's literally someone's job. That's what the historian kind of was. So in Irish tradition, in Irish lore, I guess, they have songs and stuff that goes back thousands and thousands of years with pretty high levels of accuracy, so people use them for genealogy as well.
Yeah.
But telephone doesn't work when I just whisper one thing once. Correct. But telephone can work, I didn't say well, it just can work when you have people who dedicate their entire lives to preserving these as the stories of God.
That's why, like, monks and stuff, their tradition has pretty much been the same the whole time, because they devote their whole lives to it.
Yeah,
But,
upkeeping that.
I mean, there are a lot of differences. With Buddhist monks specifically, the primary goal of all of the Buddhist monks who were active in the world directly after Buddha died was to get together. They formed a council, and they literally said, all right, we're all going to remember as much as we can and try and write down exactly what Buddha said. Whereas this, the written Old Testament had to come after centuries upon centuries upon centuries of people just telling these stories to their kids as bedtime stories.
But these stories that way, and the way how seriously they were taken, they did last 6,000 years with much less butchering than a real game of telephone.
And I don't think the Irish is a good example, because with Celtic myth, it literally
I'm talking
changes.
genealogy particularly. I mean, they sung the songs of their ancestors, and Frederick the Red did this, and so did that, and whatever, and they all came from this lineage, and they have song of that, and they kept track of that stuff through song, just like these guys. I think you were telling me some of this is meant to be sung.
Yeah, the entire thing is meant to be sung. The entire Bible is meant to be sung. But as a musician, I know tons of people who have mastered their songs and add in a little frill here or there, or remove one.
They gotta make it their own.
They've got to do it.
I feel like there's a lot of frill throwing it. What would you call it? Like they put it on and it's excessive lacing or something, like an extra layer. Everybody adds their own twist, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that their twists eventually, everybody's stacked up, and so we have this weird book from it. Think about how many times they restate stuff, or sometimes plenty, right? That was probably some guy's one add-in, and he's like, hey, I added this line in right here. See how flavorful it is at the time? Maybe people were like, yeah, that's amazing.
Wow, flavor text.
Specifically, it's the Old Testament.
Exposition.
Yeah,
So
I won't say
everything
all about
from
it.
here to here is supposed to have been memorized and sung.
So the Torah.
The Torah. But I have to assume that there was a point before then when they were like, hey, this is a lot of shit to remember. We should compose some music to put this together. And I have to assume that whatever the origins of the stories are go back even further beyond that. So I have no reason to assume that this is the original Hebrew stories. I mean,
Why would you assume?
What
an ass.
Like, that's like the number one thing you don't ever do in like textual criticism. Assume that you have the original. That's the dumbest thing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Well, moving on,
Yes.
Lawrence.
All right. Hold on, where was I? 7 years, yada yada yada. It is as I told Pharaoh. God has shown to Pharaoh what he's about to do. There will come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. But after them there will arise 7 years of famine, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt. The famine will consume the land, and the plenty will be unknown in the land by reason of the famine that will follow, for it will be very severe.
Grievous.
Grievous.
Oh, I got severe.
Boring.
We got the better version.
Boring.
And the doubling of Pharaoh's dream means that the thing is fixed by God, and God will shortly bring it about. Wow, I could not have gotten that.
Well, he really wanted to drive it home.
Now, therefore, let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh proceed to appoint overseers over the land, and take 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt during the 7 plentiful years, and let them gather all the food of these good years that are coming, and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh for food in the cities, and let them keep it. So basically,
Take advantage of your
you
plenty.
make a bunch of shit, keep some for the rainy 7 years.
So this is how taxation worked in a lot of early societies. Going back to Japan, their entire tax system, until they started trading with the West, basically somewhere between, I'd say, early 1800s, I think. Until they started trading with the West, they were still collecting their taxation in bundles of rice, not in money. So this is probably the first implementation of taxes, if we're taking this historically seriously at all.
Well, in this circumstance, would you agree that stockpiling the food is a good idea?
Yes, it is a very good idea. Otherwise, everyone else is gonna die.
Right. So, what does Pharaoh do?
Everyone's gonna get really fat and then they're gonna starve if they eat all their stuff now.
I guess. Anyways.
Alright. That food shall be a reserve for the land against the 7 years of famine that are to occur in the land of Egypt, so that the land may not perish through the famine. All right.
Oh, and does the Pharaoh listen?
Well, let's see. This proposal pleased Pharaoh and all his servants. And Pharaoh said to his servants, "Can we find a man like this in whom is the Spirit of God?" Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, "Since God has shown you all this, there is none so discerning and wise as you are." Fucking kiss ass.
Yeah, exactly. None are so discreet and wise as thou.
Yeah.
You shall be over my house, and all my people shall order themselves as you command. Okay. Only as regards the throne. Wait, hold on. Only as regards the throne will I be greater than you. Okay. And Pharaoh said to Joseph, "See, I have set you over all the land of Egypt." Then Pharaoh took his signet ring, from his hand and put it on Joseph's hand, and clothed him in the garments of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck.
Man, he's a pimp now.
This guy. He
He'd be
got some bling.
He's decking out.
Well, he literally gave him a pimp outfit. He's like, "Here, have this fine linen, and we're gonna give you a gold chain, and you're gonna wear a ring,
signet
so
ring.
that when you punch someone, it'll leave that imprint in their head."
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fun idea.
And he made him ride in his second chariot. Isn't that nice? His sidekick. And they called out before him, "Bow the knee." Thus he set him over all the land of Egypt.
Mine says a breach.
A breach.
A breach, yeah. Called over him a breach.
Oh.
Cried over him a breach, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Which is take a knee?
Mine says, "And they cried before him, bow the knee. And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt." So
Yeah. So now he's in charge, and everybody bows.
Yeah,
Except for Pharaoh.
Well, Pharaoh is
Pharaoh's
the
like
only one.
a figurehead.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna chill. You be in charge.
Yeah.
Moreover, Pharaoh said to Joseph, "I am Pharaoh, and without your consent, no one shall lift up hand or foot in all the land of Egypt." Why would anyone in power be like, "Yeah, sure, you can rise and take over. That's fine"?
Well, so far, this story has been, he was given to the captain of the guard. The captain of the guard went, "Oh man, this guy's divine," and gave him all the stuff. And then he's like, "But you're not," for some reason. What was the reason they threw him in the prison? Something stupid. He wouldn't sleep with his wife, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't screw around, and now he gets thrown in prison, and he's with the prison guard, and the prison guard's like, "Wow, you're really cool. You can be the prison guard and everything but name." What is it with people giving this guy everything but their name? I'm serious. It seems like they're just handing it to him.
What are people saying?
Durst says... Yeah, they read like a really poorly written RPG, Durst. This is the worst RPG. Somebody should have played this a little better.
It's like reading through Dark Souls lore.
It's right. It's
So
like
poorly written.
It's like reading through the binary code of Doom.
Wow, that's one way of putting it that I never would have said.
It's like reading the entire expanded Star Wars universe, except not as good.
It's like watching all the bad parts of Monty Python.
It's like watching all of the boring episodes of Star Trek.
It's like watching any Star Wars movie.
You should like Star Wars.
I really don't.
You really should. Anyways, let's finish this
Yes.
massive chapter off.
Yes, I will. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name, what the fuck? Hold on, I got this. Zaphanat Panea.
Zaphnath Pa'anea.
Sothnath Pananea.
Panea.
Sothnath
I
Panea.
sure hope I don't have to call him that again.
Dude, that's as bad as Oholibama.
I like Oholibama.
Yeah, but
Oh, and here's where he gets his wife.
Zothnath Panea, it sounds just as rhythmic and weird.
No.
To me, it does. It sounds like a kind of like something someone would bleed out in the middle of a song or something.
Does it say what that means?
No.
Mm,
Me either.
damn.
And he gave him in marriage Asenath. Oh, okay.
So
great.
there's the reference
The
we had
daughter
earlier.
of Pharaoh, priest of On. So Joseph went out over the land of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt. During the 7 plentiful years, the earth produced abundantly, and he gathered up all the food of these 7 years which occurred in the land of Egypt, and put the food in the cities. He put in every city the food from the fields around it. And Joseph stored up grain in great abundance, like the sand of the sea, until he ceased to measure it, for it could not be measured. So
Mine says that he gathered corn.
Me too.
really,
Yeah, it says he laid up corn as the sand of the sea.
well, I guess we'll never know if it's corn or grain.
Probably a number of plants
Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Because
aren't
why would
specified.
you just have one food stored up?
Yeah, you would have like extreme vitamin deficiencies.
Yeah, seriously, it'd be pretty bad.
Yeah.
And you'd think God wouldn't, he would know that, so he wouldn't
Yeah.
want that to happen.
Yeah.
Before the year of famine came, 2 sons were born to Joseph. Asenath, the daughter of Pharaoh, priest of On, bore them to him. Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh? Manasseh?
Yeah.
Manasseh.
Manasseh, okay. For, he said, God has made me forget all my hardship and all my father's house. Okay, so apparently Manasseh sounds like the Hebrew word for
Making to forget.
yes.
Okay.
Now that's a thing you know.
Ta-da!
All right. The name of the second he called Ephraim. Who was called Ephraim before?
I don't know.
I remember that being somebody's name.
I
Well,
think
why
it's
don't
spelled
we-
this way.
Yes.
Reference the Oxford Companion to the Bible.
Yes. To
And-
see how many people named Ephraim there were. And
And
is it all in alphabetical order, by the way?
yeah, I'm looking at the index. So
Must be faster that way. So while we're figuring out
Oh.
that, how are you guys doing? How's the chat doing? Is everyone in the chat doing good?
Looks like they're talking about the god that he's marrying a little bit, and that we should check out a community called the Great Debate Community and Godless Engineers in it.
Oh, I'm already in that.
Already in that?
I'm already in that.
Oh, well, fair
So-
enough.
Ephraim. So there are a few different Ephraim
Oh.
references.
Great.
There's Ephraim of Bon,
No.
Ephrami, the Codex Ephrami.
Oh.
I think best bet. It's the first one, right?
You're in the A's now. Because this is a big old dictionary, pretty much.
Oh, it said it was on page 6.
What we got here? I can't see from here.
It's cozy here. Well, that's
Cozy.
good.
That's good.
That's good. We try to give that nice
Yeah.
family hometown vibe.
Yeah,
of
because
Milwaukee.
we're a family show.
Yes, with profanity.
Yeah, guys. Make sure if you haven't already, make sure to drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't. Also, if you guys send super chats, you get cool animations.
Yes. Same with subscribe. Let's say you haven't. I don't know how.
Yeah. Share this around. Maybe you'll get to see the animations. I haven't seen any of them this stream
No.
so far, but they were coming in before we started this stream.
That's right. So every time someone subscribes, we get a new interesting noise. So that'll be cool. All right.
So Ephraim first appears in the Bible as the name of the younger son of Joseph.
This is the first
Someone
time.
was already named Ephraim.
No. I'm sure it was just spelled differently.
Okay, maybe it was spelled differently.
There's Ephesus and Ephod.
No, Ephesus is a place. I don't know what Ephod is, but that wasn't it. Okay, fine, fuck it, whatever. I guess I'm going crazy. I could swear.
We're still really early in. You gotta remember that.
I know, but
Yeah.
I could fucking swear. Whatever. All right.
You could swear. Look at him do it.
All right, I guess.
There's also a town by the name of Ephraim, which is mentioned in 2 Samuel.
All right, whatever. I guess I'm going crazy. I'll have to rewatch all the other streams.
Good luck.
Good
Yep.
luck, yeah.
Thanks. I'm gonna waste so much of my life.
All right, so we're at 53 here in.
We're at 53, you said?
Yeah. Ephraim.
Right up here. Okay. And the second was called Ephraim, for God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction. The 7 years of plenty that occurred in the land of Egypt came to an end. Oh no. And the 7 years of famine began to come, as Joseph had said. There was famine in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread.
Wow, mine is so much cooler.
What's yours?
And the 7 years of dearth began. That's a misprinting, isn't it?
Where?
Dearth?
It should say death, right? Dearth?
No, dearth is a word.
Nah.
Dearth is dead
like-
soil.
Looks like dearth.
Dearth. It's dearth.
Is it?
Well, I'm pretty sure that's a real word.
And dearth was in all the lands, but in the land of Egypt there was bread.
Yeah, okay.
It would have been cooler if it said, and death was in
death.
all the lands.
That would be cool.
Bring
But that
it
would be
on.
the wrong horseman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy shows up too early.
This
No, wait.
this
that's
dearth guy, he rides a donkey. He has he asses and she asses.
Oh, plenty.
Aplenty, yeah.
When all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. Pharaoh said to all the Egyptians, "Go to Joseph. What he says to you, do." So when the famine had spread over all the land, Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold to the Egyptians, for the famine was severe in the land of Egypt. So it was still a profiting campaign. Moreover, all the earth came to Egypt, to Joseph to buy grain, because the famine was severe over all the earth. The
Corn.
entire earth. There was an earth-wide famine.
And all they wanted was corn.
Corn.
Or grain.
Or
Corn
bread.
grain.
Or cornbread. It seems
Cornbread.
Like, seems
Yeah.
like they could have
Yeah,
cornbread.
that's probably it.
They've got bread, they've
No,
got
that's pretty
grain,
good.
they've got corn, they can have
They
cornbread.
can have cornbread.
You know, you can survive off cornbread.
You know, this is weird. They didn't have the same kind of corns. Corn is an American food from the United States. Like, you know, it's from here. It grows.
Right, but we got it from South America, from maize.
No, corn itself is from here. Maize is a type of corn.
Oh,
Yep.
really?
Yep, for
Oh,
sure.
okay. I thought we just started, growing it here after, our ancestors.
Oh, dearth is dead earth.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
That would make sense.
Makes sense.
All right, let's finish this one up.
No,
I
well,
just did.
well, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
wa-
right. He did just finish that up.
I want to see if there is any reference to corn in this Oxford
No.
thing.
There might be.
Corn.
Corn, a delicious food. Served best with butter and salt.
Well, there's Cornelius, but that's not corn.
It. No, not at all.
Butter and salt?
Yeah.
Fuck your butter and salt.
Yeah, you take the corn, the ear, and
Yes,
you
I
pick it
understand
up
the
and then
concept.
butter and then salt.
He likes corn on the cob,
Uh,
not cornbread.
I prefer cornbread.
I prefer cornbread.
I prefer corn on the cob.
You would,
You guys don't know shit.
apparently.
Yeah.
42. Now Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt. See, it's corn.
Yep, corn.
And
You're
Jacob-
outvoted. Corn is native to Egypt.
That's right. That's right. It's very corny. And Jacob said unto his sons, "Why do ye look one upon another, as opposed to not?" And he said, "Behold,
Behold!
Behold!
I have heard that there is corn in Egypt." Okay.
Mine says there is grain for sale in Egypt.
Ah.
This one is very capitalist.
Very modernized.
Wow,
yes.
that's so capitalist.
Yeah.
Ours just says there's food.
Yeah.
And corn.
Well, it still says he made money earlier.
Fucking
Oh,
common.
yeah, of course we made money.
Get you down thither and buy for us from thence.
Thence?
Thence? That's a hard word.
No, it's not.
Well, I mean, I don't use it. How about that? How about I've
totally
never bleeping had to use this word before because it's stupid as fuck. All right. Thence.
Thence.
Thence?
Yeah.
That we may live and not die.
Alright.
It's really easy. It says then and then s.
So, yeah. You're right. It does. It does. It's just I don't see that word. Anyways.
Open your fucking eyes, Chris.
You might be dyslexic, Chris. Have you ever considered that?
I've been tested for everything. Apparently, I'm fine. Anyways, Joseph, 10 brethren went down to buy corn from Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, lest peradventure harm befall him. And the sons of Israel came to buy among those that came. For the famine was in the land of Canaan. And
Of course it was in the land of
it's
Canaan.
everywhere.
It was everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joseph was the governor over the land. It was that sold to all the people of the land. Oh, phrasing. And Joseph's brethren came and...
Hold on, Chris.
What's up?
Take this.
You want a better one? Because I'm reading it verbatim.
I believe you.
It was that sold to all the people of the land. That's what it says.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does. It's just...
Makes perfect sense.
It's just weird. Yeah. And Joseph's brethren came and bowed down to him with their faces to the earth, as opposed to bowing with their faces to the sky. And Joseph saw the brethren, and he knew them, and made himself strange unto them, and spoke roughly with them. Why? And said...
Because his brothers literally kidnapped him and sold him into slavery in
that's
Egypt.
true, that's true.
That's a good reason to speak
Yes.
harshly unto them.
Holy
Stupid.
shit, I gotta shave.
You got to do a lot of things.
I really do.
Yeah.
Self-maintenance, man.
We got this big mirror up here. And,
Yeah, the whole back here is mirrors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I just
we are
noticed.
very conscious of when we don't shave.
Apparently.
Or you. It's just you. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. So they didn't recognize him.
Interesting.
Well, he was young, and he probably has a beard or something. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. Damn.
You have come to see the nakedness of the land.
Got it.
Yeah.
I like that phrasing way better.
Yeah.
And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's son. We are upright men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, We, thy servants, are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, That is it, that I spoke unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved as Pharaoh's liveth. Ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be bound, that your words may be proved, whether there be truth in you, or else, as Pharaoh liveth, surely ye are spies. All right, what did you want to say? Oh, we got a comment?
We got some comments.
we got
What's going on? What's going on in the chat?
Anybody arguing with Darth Dawkins in there?
Oh my
Is
God.
Dawkins even? Nah, Dawkins
he's not.
hasn't been coming in recently.
Oh, I miss Darth Dawkins.
Well, he's a pre-sub.
Fucking pre-subs.
What are you gonna do?
Pre-subs give us views.
What we got?
Yes, I have the worst translation. Correct.
Yeah, that's why I suggested reading out of this one. I have a better translation at home too. I can bring that one.
Might be a good idea. This one's interesting to look in for like really obscure stuff, but it's not so great to read out of.
No, it's not. That's why I suggested it.
I didn't have any problem with it.
Of course not. You
I
constantly
think you just
speak.
ought to learn to read
I think
better.
you use the word ought
Yes.
like a biblical scholar.
What?
Just
The
kidding.
word ought
It's
is
in here.
a biblical.
What?
The word ought is in the Bible,
Yes, it
therefore.
is. Therefore, you're a biblical
Like
scholar.
a biblical scholar.
Just like one.
Fucking what?
Well, they use the
Fucking-
word ought all the time.
Literally all philosophers use the word ought all the time.
Well, maybe he has it this entire time.
What-
He's a
He
philosopher.
has been all the
Most
time.
human
This is a great
beings
argument.
use the word ought.
I don't.
That's because you have like
A very limited
I
vocabulary.
don't think so.
like
I don't
synonymous
have.
to, like,
look, I
a
don't have. I don't
7-year-old.
have the
Did you just say
vocabulary.
that this vocabulary is synonymous to a 7-year-old?
to a 7-year-old.
Yes.
That's not.
That's not what
That's
a
not-
synonym is.
No.
No, it's
no.
the
God
same.
damn it,
No.
both of
It's
you
the
are
same.
terrible
You're
at
worse
English.
than me,
They're
Lawrence.
interchangeable.
Lawrence, I think you need that book. Let me struggle through this archaic text with pleasure. I enjoy trying to
They're
make
interchangeable. I
heads
don't
or
see-
tails of this garbage. Anyways, they're surely you're spies. And ye put them all together into ward 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the third day, This do and live, for I fear God. If ye be brought upright men, let one of your brethren be bound in your prison house. But go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses, and bring your youngest brother unto me. So shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. So either go get him or die, basically.
Yeah.
We'll give you food, but you gotta come back. And they did so. And they said one to another, We are very guilty considering our brother, in that we saw the distress of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spoke I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear. Therefore also, behold, his blood is required. Is anyone getting what's going on? I mean, I am just reading it.
I don't
at
know.
this
Yes,
point.
I understand
All right,
perfectly.
Reuben, why don't you tell us what Reuben's saying?
Reuben's saying, didn't I tell you not to harm the young brother that we had that we sold into slavery
Yeah.
a few chapters ago? Didn't I tell you? That's basically what he's saying.
So he's kind of rubbing it in. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for the interpreter was between them, and he turned himself about from them and wept. And he returned to them and spoke to them and took Simon from
Simeon.
Sorry. Yeah, I think Simon every time I say it first. All right, Simeon from among them and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their vessels with corn and to restore every man's money unto his sack. So he gives it to them for free.
Yeah.
And to give them provisions for their way. And thus was it done unto them. And they, what's that? Laded their asses with their corn. That's a great sentence. I'm so happy this exists. This is why I want to read this one, because they have sentences like, and they laded their asses with corn.
Yeah,
That's
I
hilarious.
laid in my ass with corn.
That's hilarious.
I know.
love it.
Yeah.
Well, at least one a banana.
Yeah.
And departed their hence.
You know that
Their
banana
hence, that
is
stupid
perfectly
word.
designed for the human mouth.
And it's perfectly designed for the human hand too.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Oh,
How
yeah,
can
for
you
sure.
explain that? That's the atheist nightmare.
Well, remember those apples and corn and other things before humans got their hands on breeding them? They didn't
Okay,
look like that.
Okay.
They really
Chris,
didn't.
Chris.
Lawrence.
We're
Lawrence.
referencing-
Lawrence. What are you referencing?
Ray Comfort.
Ray
Oh,
Comfort.
He
I'm
had
just-
this video
just being
a long
honest.
time ago.
And he wrote an introduction to The Origin of Species by Charles
That's
Darwin.
true.
And I have that copy
You
of
do?
that book.
Really?
Yes, I found it in, around universities and shit, they've got like these cardboard boxes where they're like, donate a book.
No.
Yeah, I was just like, is that Charles Darwin with an introduction by Ray Comfort? That's mine now.
talk about a good donation to you.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds fun. Did you read the introduction?
Yes,
Was it
course.
awful?
you should see it.
Well, I'm interested as well. Where am I at, guys? 25 or something?
You're
26.
at 27.
27.
27.
Okay. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass, what is
Provender.
this? Provender.
Fodder.
In the lodging place, he, what the heck? Epsied his money. These words I've never heard or seen before.
Saw his money in the mouth of his sack.
So Epsied his saw.
Okay.
Okay. And behold, it was in the mouth of his sack. And he said unto his brethren, my money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they turned trembling one to another, saying, what is this that God hath done unto us? Give you your money back? And
Well, their assumption is going to be that the Egyptians are going to be pissed off and think they stole from them, right?
What we got? I can't read from here.
somebody made a gospel of truth which packs all the most essential biblical quotes. This guy did, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who was it? John Adams, was it? Who did the...
It was one of the founding fathers. I think it was
Yeah.
Jefferson.
Jefferson. Yeah, the Jefferson Bible. The
Yeah.
Jefferson Bible is the teachings of Jesus with all of the supernatural stuff taken out.
Oh. We should put we should just leave the supernatural stuff in and take out the mundane, and then this book would be like
Way cooler.
way cooler.
Like,
We missed
well,
so much of the
basically
story.
Genesis would just be
Man, it's not
the
even a
world was
story.
created, and then there was a giant flood because God did it, and then some people were blessed.
doing it. I'm
and
doing
then
it.
there
I'm
was
gonna-
a famine,
Blessed.
and yeah, basically.
The Bible minus the non-action scenes. Only the action scenes, only the exciting magical stuff we're keeping in.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Bible
The
minus
Bible
boring
as
stuff.
the Bible brought to you by magic. All right, so here we are at number 29, 42, 29. And they came unto Jacob, their father, unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that they had befallen them, saying,
Told him all that befell unto them,
yeah,
saying,
them saying, they say it twice, that's annoying. The man, the Lord of the land, spoke roughly with us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, we are upright men, we are no spies. We are 12 brethren, sons of your father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the land, said unto us, hereby shall I know that ye are upright men. Leave one of your brethren with me, and take the corn for the famine of your houses, and go your way. And bring your youngest brother unto me, then I shall know that ye are no spies, but that ye are upright men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in this land, in the land.
So here's something that's interesting. So obviously this story is just meant to, like they're about to get their comeuppance. They're about to get their just desserts. But how on earth would this in real life prove somebody's not a spy?
Okay, so
because
I think,
it proves that they're not spies, because they're in danger, they have the ability to leave the danger, And the only reason that they would return after that is in order to demonstrate that they're not spies, because they've already solved their famine problem. The only additional problem is that one of their brothers is left in Egypt.
Yeah.
Now they have to bring their other brother back, which, I mean, if you're thinking about it, that's stupid, because if you just take your entire tribe and go over somewhere, then they can just be, all right, we'll kill them all.
Well, I think this is that plot entirely. I think that this is Joseph's attempt to backstab Canaan's family, and he wants to get his whole family there at once. I'm not sure why. I think they're gonna get their comeuppance. Jacob wants to get
Canaan.
Yeah.
what the family's in the land of Canaan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Where am I at now?
You're at 35.
5. And it came to pass that they emptied their sacks, that behold.
Behold.
It's so badly timed. Why is there comma, behold, comma? Anyways, every man's bundle of money was in their sack, and when they and their father saw their bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob, their father, said unto them, Me have ye bereaved?
I don't know what the word bereaved means.
Okay, so
That's a hard one.
he says, "Me have ye bereaved of my children," which says it's essentially that. So you bereaved me of my children. He's like, we're all gonna die, basically. Yeah.
Joseph is not, and Simeon is not, and ye will take Benjamin away. Upon me are all these things come. And Reuben spoke unto his father, saying, Thou shalt slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee.
Wow. Just like
Kill him.
Just like throwing his kids under the bus.
He
Like, if
said-
I don't do this, you can kill my kids.
He says, so Jacob says that you've stolen my children, and one of them's a prisoner in Egypt now. Because as far as he knows, his other kid's dead.
Yeah.
And Reuben's like, all right, I'm going to go there, I'm going to bring him back, and if I don't, kill my kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like that's just okay. Yeah, that's totally okay.
Yeah. So, according to Judeo-Christian morality, it is acceptable in a business deal if
Use your sons as barter.
yeah, to use the lives of your children
As collateral.
As collateral. Yeah.
And that is historically known to be true, especially with the dowry for females, where they go, we'll give you the dowry now so that you marry her later.
Yeah.
Basically. We'll sell you her now so that we don't have to deal with this later.
Well,
and
the
it's
entire-
totally common
The
practice.
entire institution of marriage was just another form of slavery.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All right, where am I at?
It
38?
Yeah,
was all
38.
founded when women were still considered property.
Yeah. Well, it seems you're still property until you're considered a man of the community, and even then, you can still be sold into slavery because you're not part of a different community. Like, they can just pick you up and go, hey, you don't know this guy, you want him?
I mean,
And of course, at this point in time, if your people ever get conquered, then of course you're going to be a slave.
Yeah. All right. And he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he only is left. If harm befell him by the way in which ye go, then will ye bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. So he's saying, I'm old and I'm going to die lonely if I don't have my kid with him. And that's the end of 42.
yeah, and the thing is, my translation says Sheol, which last episode we
Right.
talked about it too. It was actually just the Hebrew word for hell.
Well,
Yeah, although your translations.
there
use-
are. If you go through the Jewish canon, there is no reference to hell.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Right.
Yeah. Sheol is as close as you get. And it was described to me as just being in the afterlife and being eternally separated from God, which would essentially mean that your afterlife is nothing, just nothing.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
I mean, like what we're doing already?
Yeah.
What we're really,
Nothing.
we're pretending we're doing stuff.
Unless you're experiencing the nothing, because you wouldn't be experiencing the nothing.
I mean, it's really interesting as an alternative to like the Hindu tradition, right? With their samsaric cycle of reincarnation. Whereas, yeah, if you do good, then you get the good afterlife, which is basically what's promised through the Eastern traditions anyway, is that they give you the good nirvana or moksha or whatever, where you're separated from all those things, but where you're still communing with the divinity of Brahman or whatever. But the Jewish afterlife is the same thing, except if you do bad, then you get nothing, just absolutely nothing. You don't even get that, like...
Second chance or whatever.
No, you don't get a second chance. Your nothingness is not the kind of enlightened nothingness that's talked about in the Eastern traditions. It's just nothing. Like, that's it. You screwed up, you get one chance.
Yeah.
So like annihilation theory, then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that wraps things up.
Yeah. So for now, we're just gonna let's see what's going on in the chat before we close out or anything.
We've got Google Jacob Browski, scientific humanist, and he can talk about the gospel of truth. It's a quick read, apparently. What else do we got? Well, anything else you guys want to talk about particularly before we head out? I think we should talk about two things, I think. Right now, we're not doing secret lab reports, or I'm not. That's my job. And we're trying to move out of mystery, apparently.
Well, here's
we're going to do one more.
Calm down. No, we're not. No, That's not what I said at all.
Well, what did you say about mystery? You want to turn it into something else?
Okay. Once I finish up with Forged Fiction with the series, at that time I will also stop doing mystery. But then I will start doing longer, better quality videos.
Monthly specials.
Like, well, I do them more than once a month, is the thing. And then we'd still be doing this. Ruben would still have his show.
I gotta think of something to do.
Yeah, and I'm still going to be doing my pirate thing.
Yeah, get it straight, says this one guy. I'm like,
Lawrence
seriously. Loves to yell, and I don't mind, so don't worry.
Also, out of interest, would any single person in the chat enjoy watching us sitting down and quietly reading books and occasionally talking?
With the chat or each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
all
I
day.
don't think...
All day.
Right.
I don't think that anyone would be interested in that, but Chris thinks that you would.
See,
It's not that I think it would. It's that there are a lot of currently existing lofty music, whatever, /study. And people go in on those chats and they talk all the time. The thing is that for us, we do it on a different entity other than Milwaukee
I don't want
Atheist.
to do it on a different entity. I
Well,
think it'd be silly to do it on a different entity.
Well, you gotta understand we're researching.
I want to
whatever.
see, moreover, if any single person would ever be interested in that concept.
Right. Like
Because if no one's interested, then it doesn't matter if you
Right.
do it on Milwaukee Atheist or not.
Right. No, like the thing is, I asked this question on my Facebook, and it got generally good reviews. I didn't initially think...
Well, this guy says, Jude, yes, you better get a lot of armchairs. We have those 3 fucking
We do.
armchairs. They're
We
just...
do.
I want you to realize that what we're talking about is sitting down and reading books quietly.
Yes, yes.
Like-
but we'll
We
talk
will
sometimes.
interact with the chat.
We'll react, and we could do it all day. I think we should just try it as an experiment. I don't give a flying fuck if it succeeds or not. Mostly, I'm just interested to see if we can get, like, if we had an 8-hour stream, if we had a stream going all day, how many people would come and interact? How many people would look? I'm wondering. You know, so that's an experiment we're trying, in my opinion, with the newer camera we got too, and
Yeah, that is a nice new camera.
that's a really nice new camera.
What's the new-
We even got a new mic. It's just not here right now, Lawrence. Dan got us a new mic.
Really?
So, yep.
Cool.
Yep. So, anyways, I think we need to try some new stuff. Like, that wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
That wouldn't be terrible. I think we should try it. Guys are shitting on it, I know, but it looks like from Facebook and from at least one guy here thinks it's a good idea. We'll see, you know, maybe we'll get more feedback on
Oh
it.
yes, those 2 viewers, so great.
They're very important.
No, I understand, but yeah, I just want to make it very clear that mystery and forged fiction will not end for a while because I have like at least like 10 more episodes to do.
Of both?
Well, of
Forged.
or of forged fiction.
Okay.
Like, cause I have I've covered like 15 or 16 books, something around there. So I have 10 at least left to do.
Yeah.
Because I want to finish up the New Testament.
Do you guys really have that much time on your hands? Yeah, we do sit and research all day anyways. That's why I'm saying that's what we do. So if that's what we do, we should just film it and fuck it. See if people find it interesting.
But
that's literally where like when we're not
the atheist experience. Well, we could have calling in, but this, I got a home phone, and some people do call that home phone. We could put that number up at the bottom and people could call in, but that sounds crazy.
That sounds stupid.
It does.
I don't
want to give my number out like that. Yeah.
It's really easy to
people
work around that using Skype or Google Hangouts or various
people
things.
like make numbers that you can call like just a temporary number.
Oh, that would work better.
Yeah, that works too. But I don't really like the idea of a call-in show.
No.
Like for me at least. Like.
Oh well, we'd have to deal with the pre-subs.
Well, that too.
Yeah. Well, if we make a show and it's like that, it'll be called Dealing with Pre-subs.
No, it won't.
But if you guys would rather see something like, good, then why don't you leave us some comments about video topics that you might want to see.
Yeah,
or like generally what kind of style you like, what your favorite things are, and we can work within those parameters too.
Yeah, and you can leave all your ideas in as much detail as you want. You can either do it here in
or on the website.
Or I was going to say the website too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. We still got the forum.
Yep.
So feel free and check in the whatever area and make your own post if you want. I'll even make some administrators if you guys want to go nuts on there. I don't really care. It's unlimited state.
And if you guys want me to talk about famous wizards, I'll do that.
Famous wizards. Right.
Yeah, I liked the Hermes video.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to do more stuff like the Trinity video, like the Josephus video, like the Hermes video, like Jesus Miracles.
And we might try doing a study stream, whether Lawrence thinks it's a good idea or not.
Right. I don't think we should do it on a separate channel.
I think it's just like, okay, listen to me on this one.
Oh
yeah, it'll get less subscribers, and it probably might get more views. But the thing is that like there's all sorts of people who do their regular channel and their stream channel.
Why don't you, as an experiment, sit down for 10 hours and read a book with the camera pointed at you and stream that, and then see, based off of that, if it's a good idea.
Well, the thing is people like to see our specific research for this channel.
What if...
What's that?
Chris tried making a video.
Yeah,
wow!
Give me about
if he tried actually working on something and researching
instead of putting 5 minutes
for a real amount of time, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
that'd be funny.
Make a 25-30 minute long video.
That'd be great.
Good luck with that.
So before we head out, I just want to say, if you haven't dropped a like, make sure to do that.
Our thanks to our patrons, of course.
Yep, thank you to our patrons.
We gotta go with Chris Douglas, and we have 3. I think we have 3 now, don't we?
2, yes, we do.
Who's the third guy? We should give him a shout out.
Chris Douglas as well.
Oh, Chris Douglas twice.
Yeah. We should do an episode about remodeling a home.
Well, this house could use a good remodel.
Yep. Yeah. But anyways.
Welcome to House Hunters Atheist Edition.
Oh, God.
We're going to have a heck of a show for you today.
We're going to remodel everything, but instead we're going to plaster the entire walls with the cover of The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins.
Yeah, we're going to... Everywhere that there was a mirror, there's now going to be a full portrait of Christopher Hitchens.
Oh, jeez. All right. Well, thanks for joining us today.
Yep, make sure you check out our website. Check us out on Patreon, too. Anything helps, really. Greatly appreciated. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter. And I already mentioned the website, MilwaukeeAtheist.com.
And our Patreon.
I just said that.
And our Patreon.
And our source of income. All right, guys. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, we will. Thank you.